Welcome back, and you're still watching Joy News Prime. Managing Director of Tullow Oil Ghana, Kwakwachi, has been promoted to Executive Vice President of the group. This follows a reorganization of the group's structure. So what new is he bringing on board? George Wefe has been interacting with him.
It's a reflection of the journey the company's been on. 10 years ago, there was no oil and gas capacity in country. We built that up over the last 10, 11 years. And we're at a place where the company feels that the company can be run by Ghanaians. And I happen to be here.
Does it give more meaning to this whole local content? Or again, it's about, and sorry if I'm personalizing this, what the man brings to the table?
It's probably a combination of both. I mean, yes, I do have a lot of experience from other industries, energy, power, mining, so that's hopefully helpful. At the end of the day, I mean, organizations don't bring in people who they don't expect to perform. But it's also very much a reflection of the journey the company's been on. And I think, as I said to a previous interviewer, Tullow has always had a commitment to localize, to bring in Ghanaians, and that's been across the board. You see on the leadership team, 5 of the 8 leaders are Ghanaians. So it's very much a reflection of that commitment.
Would it make it more easier for you in taking those strategic decisions?
What would make it more?
And fast tracking the turnaround time for some of these strategic decisions that you have to take now that you are more closer to the group CEO?
I think what it means is that Ghana has more of a say at the top table. I mean, so if you recall, Tullow has business across the globe. It has business mostly in Africa, sure, and has a big commitment in East Africa as well, and different parts of West Africa, and also looking in South America. But I think the commitment or the desire of the executive is that, they shouldn't have to talk to 2 other people before they hear from Ghana. They should hear from Ghana directly. So it's not just them listening to us, it's also us also being able to input to say, actually, these are the issues in Ghana that they must pay attention to in an unfiltered way. So it should be positive all around.
In a related development, Tullow Oil says it is optimistic of being selected as winners of the new blocks being auctioned. Tullow Oil and 2 other operators, ENI and Vitol, had put in their bids for these new blocks. Paul McDade is Group Chief Executive of Tullow Oil.
Ghana is such a core business, and we've shown our commitment to Ghana as a country. I'd like to think we're a good partner to the country, and our staff here have worked so hard to develop Jubilee and then 10, and they're working hard to extract those resources. What we want to see is a new leg of growth for our staff here, for our organisation, and also to take much of the knowledge and experience we have here in Ghana and apply it to the new licences that are available in the round.
I asked earlier on, but I was just trying to reiterate the point again that, I mean, yes, of course, that's the standard practice and in regions that you operated, but would you have wished that there would have been more of a direct negotiations with government with respect to this oil field than this whole Doti contest?
There's certain situations where direct negotiation is the right way to go, and there's certain situations where the competitive process is the way to go. I think the government decided in this case we have some licences and we're going to go down a competitive process. And I say we're very comfortable. We've put in a strong bid. We understand the area, we understand the country. As you know, we have a very strong team here. So what we've been able to do in a competitive basis is go in there, put in an aggressive bid for investment in a new block with very early drilling. So we think that will be competitive, but we'll know when the government evaluates the bids and comes back with the announcement. I think in early July is what they're planning.
Owning a home is everyone's dream due to the inconveniences associated with renting, especially having to deal with landlords and ladies. But despite this dream, the cost associated with home ownership can be a scary one in our part of the world. But with government's decision to roll out a national mortgage fund, Philip Namfuri decides to take a look at home and mortgages in tonight's business edition of PM Express.
So you've taken us through the interior of the beautiful 3-bedroom house. We've seen the hall, we've seen the kitchen, we've seen the bedrooms. very comfy, very homey. And the key question we all want to know is, how much exactly would that cost us?
Typically, a 3-bedroom house like that particular, like this one, would go for 575,000 Ghana cedis. Okay.
Is that a lot?
No.
Or in your line of work, you think that's affordable for where we are, the infrastructure, the amenities that go into it? It's fine?
Yes, for most people who come here, looking at the sort of environment we have here, the street lights and all that, yes, they sort of understand and appreciate such values. Okay, but then in order not to cut, other homeowners off, we have other units, 2 bedrooms, even the 3 bedrooms. We have other variants that cost around 300,000 Ghana cedis.
Okay.
So you are not necessarily tied to just a house like this for 575, but then you can go for a house around 300,000 Ghana cedis, and that will be a home for you and your family.
That will be a home for you. So, Bernard, Kafu Anyable, our first guest, has told us that, looking behind us, we're prepared to dole out 575,000 Ghana cedis. Yes, you heard me, 575,000. I don't have that, but I hope you do.
Well, interesting conversation where you can catch the PM Express business edition with Philip Namfure and his guests on the Joy News channel at 9 p.m. and on DSTV channel 421. Well, let's go for some health tips ahead of our health and wellness trade show. We have been looking at the role of a gynecologist.
Welcome to today's Joy Business Health and Wellness Tip. Let's talk about gynecologist. A gynecologist is a medical doctor that specializes in women's reproductive systems. He or she is responsible for performing a variety of tests and exams focused on women's health. During this exam, the doctor will physically examine the woman, perform a pap smear, STD test, complete a breast exam, and monitor the woman's use of birth control.